Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of the Boxing Coalition. My name is Cam. Joining me tonight, Leon, Naota, and I'm sure a few other guys will jump on later. We're back after a 2-week hiatus. It's good to be back. Leon, Naota, hope you guys are well. It's fair to say...
Busy, Cam. I'm always busy with work.
You're never busy, man. You sit at home watching Olympic boxing stuff line.
All day working hard.
Yeah.
Grind out there, man.
But it's fair to say, I think...
Hard work, dedication.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say us three were the main guys of the coalition that watched the majority of the Olympics. Well, Olympic boxing. Let's get into it. Obviously, we're not going to go in depth and have a 2-hour show, but let's overview it, summarise it, start by our favourite boxer of the tournament. Leon, I'll start with you.
Martinez.
Of Colombia.
Yeah. It's so refreshing to see pressure fighting coming into the amateur sport more. I mean, I'm not an avid amateur watcher, but it was a far more enjoyable tournament than the one in London. I just thought it was great to see that kind of slightly pro style favoured, and he was just an underdog in every fight, and he's got a serious gas tank on him. I know it's only 3 rounds, but he never stopped throwing. And he was the most exciting, most enjoyable ride, I think. Maybe not the most talented guy, but as a story was definitely the highlight for me. And I know for all 3 of us were just, making sure we were all there for his fights. I mean, I watched one of them in the back of a cab and came with 4G, but, he was worth watching. And that fight with a Spaniard was classic. Yeah,
against Heredia. All his fights were good, to be honest. And like you said, his output was excellent. Like, he never stopped throwing. His undoing in the final, I guess, was just accuracy, and he didn't cope well with the movement of his opponent. But as an overall guy, most of his fights, he was the big underdog, and he came through and got to the final. And I think I was reading today he laced up a pair of gloves when he was like 14 or 15 or something like that. He didn't tell his parents that he was boxing because his dad's very religious, and just it's one of those beautiful kind of stories where someone comes out of nowhere.
And he
I saw something about how his... I'm sorry?
And he beat that Cuban who was a little just fancy Dan, wasn't he? The one who danced around all the time.
Aguilagos.
Aguilagos, yeah. Yeah, no, Martinez was really impressive. That was, if you want to talk about a pro style, a guy that's going to transition to the pros really well, that's him all day. Because, he put the pressure on guys. He beat him up to the body, beat him up to the head. The only mistake he made was in that last fight, trying to fight tall, simply because Duzmatov was smaller than him. But he's not that type of a fighter to, try and fight at range. I think he figured that out in the 3rd round. He started pressuring him again. But by then it was too late. He only have 3 rounds to figure it out and get it done. But otherwise, he was definitely impressive. He went in there against, a lot of people, they think that, well, this guy from Cuba's slick and he's going to just outbox him. He was he didn't show any regard or anything like that to him, and he went out there and just beat him down. Went out there, whooped his ass, and knocked him clear out of the tournament. He 3-0'd him. He shut him out, basically.
The Aguilagos fight, I don't know, is interesting to me because I don't know if you guys remember it, but I thought Aguilagos won the 1st round, and because the judges give it to Martinez, it made Aguilagos have to go on the front foot and fight Martinez's fight, which obviously didn't really work out for him. But I know Leon didn't like Aguilagos. I actually liked his style. I know he was a bit in your face and a bit, Ali shuffles and blah blah blah. But I thought he was quite entertaining to watch. But sticking to that,
he's a good fighter. He's a good fighter, but I didn't like the fact that he was already taunting guys in the very first round, like the first 30 seconds of the first round and stuff like that. It's one thing to do it in the last round after you've cleanly sweeped them, but he was taunting Martinez as Martinez was coming forward and punching him in the face repeatedly.
Yeah,
but I just don't think he ever put anything on his punches.
Yeah,
I don't like to see that. I just don't like tippy.
I'm with Leon though. Martinez and Heredia was the best fight of the tournament. That was incredible.
Yeah, it was.
Because Heredia had just upset Patty Barnes, sent him home without a medal at all, and he had pretty much the same style as Martinez, just chase you down and attack. And as soon as that first bell rang, the two of them were at ring. They reminded me of almost like a abbreviated version of like a Vasquez versus Marquez. It's just like tit for tat.
Yeah.
You know, one guy would catch the other's shot, and then they'd make him miss, and then he would make him pay, and then he would immediately answer back, and yeah, it was just constant streams of punches, almost like you see like in a tennis match, where it's just, you know, one shot, you know, from each guy,
back and forth,
constant exchanges.
They would sprint into the middle of the ring just to try and be the guy to try and get the middle of the ring. You know,
yeah.
There was no figuring out process, was there?
No,
but would dominate you. But I'd like to see that Spaniard go pro though, because he would be in some fun fights. Because he looked like he could take a shot as well.
Yeah,
so I'm happy to see him turn pro. He doesn't need to stick around the amateurs. Those two guys don't need. Because I think there's a couple of the Brits who could do well out of, you know, doing another cycle, maybe another couple of years.
I think Galal Yafai needs to stay there. And maybe
all the lower weight guys should just hang around a bit. I even think we'll probably go on to him, but Buatsi could. I don't think him turning pro now is that doesn't have to happen right now.
I disagree to that, but we'll come back to that. Just honourable mention, same weight division, Nico Hernandez of the USA. I thought he did for his age, and you know, getting a bronze, I thought that was very well done to him. I think he started a bit too slow against Dusmatov, but overall, man, props.
Yeah, I mean, he basically just made the same. He just made the mistake that everybody else made with Dusmatov. He tried to fight tall against him, and Dusmatov is like almost like a Sergio Martinez. He makes you give away your height and just kind of clips you, almost like using your height against you. But I mean, I thought he figured it out in the third round. He started landing some good shots on him, but again, by then it was too late. But all his other fights, though, you know, it's like almost like he dropped the first round against these guys. He adjusted, and then he overwhelmed them.
Yep.
I mean, that just shows that he has good, you know, he has a good way to transition to the pros. I mean, it seemed like he hurt everybody he fought as well, and that's impressive because those gloves are so much more padded than pro style gloves. You know, they have like several layers of foam in those gloves, and they're 2 ounces heavier as well. So, I mean, if you're able to hurt guys with those gloves, once you get the lighter ones on, and the pros that aren't as padded, they're more conforming to your fist. You know, it's like they even brag, the company that makes those gloves, they brag about the fact that once they instituted those, like, they dropped the number of knockouts in international competition to under 1%. And like, I'm like, damn, like that's some shit to be bragging about.
Yeah, man. Don't be proud of that shit.
Yeah,
you're making it less entertaining.
Yeah, but yeah, no, he did really, really well, and I think, you know, considering the fact that he was the guy that broke the medal drought for the U.S. and only him and Stevenson medaled, that they're gonna. I mean, I'm sure that he's going to be able to do really well as a pro, you know, which is rare for the lighter weight classes. Maybe bring some extra attention down there now that Gonzalez and Estrada and Inoue and guys like that are already, you know, starting to pave the way back to the lighter classes.
Yeah, Naoto, your fighter of the tournament?
Fighter of the tournament. Well, I want to give a quick shout out to Liu Bin, because that fight that he lost to Peter O'Leary was one of the worst, you know, decisions of the tournament. And he was styling on him. Like, he reminded me of like a Roy Jones. And he beat his ass. He was freaking moving his head, making him miss, all kinds of stuff. And
he humiliated him, didn't he? Really, he beat the shit.
Did.
Yeah,
he did. He got. I mean, like, he like beat him down. He's got a standing 8 against him because he was about to drop him. Essentially, you know, he was about to knock him out. But the ref essentially saved him, and he wound up kind of giving him that gift over him. And yeah, it was really bad. But I mean, as far as fighter of the tournament, I'd probably have to go with. Well, and I'm going to give a honorable mention to Carlos Balderas too, because he lost a robbery to Lázaro Alvarez, and I thought he beat Alvarez even better than Robson Conceição of Brazil beat Alvarez. So, you know, in spite of the fact that I kind of want to give fighter of the tournament to Robson Conceição, I'm not sure that I necessarily can, because I didn't think he beat Alvarez any more impressively than Balderas did. So that kind of leaves a sour note with me, because it's like Balderas could have been a gold medalist. But I'd say, you know what, Yelusinov at middleweight. I think Daniil Yelusinov, or was he at middleweight or welterweight? Welterweight, yeah. Daniil Yelusinov of Kazakhstan at welterweight, where he just was able to beat. The way he was able to beat Giasov in that final, and I mean, I didn't expect him to kind of sweep the first 2 rounds against Giasov the way he did. But Giasov, adjusted in the third round and made it a little bit closer, but still, I mean, the way he was able to handle him overall, I thought was really impressive. And his other fights, I don't even think were competitive, so I'd go with him.
Yeah, I was going to pick Yulisanov as well, but because you picked him, I'll pick someone else. Leon mentioned him earlier. I just thought Joshua Buatsi was impressive. He was a bit like a baseball bat, It's difficult because I did see a lot of flaws, but he was fun to watch. But if I had to pick one, it would have been Yulisanov, but I'll pick another one. I think I'll pick Conceição of Brazil. I thought he was in a lot of fun fights at lightweight, 60 kilograms. The fact that he was Brazilian, fighting in his hometown Olympics. It was nice to see. I mentioned to you, Neotilla, a lot of the earlier sessions in the weeks, place was empty. Like, if you look at London 2012, the arena was always full, even if it was the preliminaries or the 32s or whatever. It was just always full. So it was a shame to see the venue quite empty early on. But when Brazilians were fighting, or it was getting closer to medal stages, the stadium did fill up, and I think Brazil did a good overall job when it comes to the whole setup. It's just some of the, I guess, judging, which we'll probably discuss in a bit as well, was a bit weak. But yeah, I think I'll pick Conceição. But yeah, what's next then, boys? Should we talk about?
Do you want to talk about a bit more about Buatsi and maybe some of the other Brit fighters? Because I think he could hang around a bit more in the amateurs, but you were saying that you thought he should get in the pros. I think there was just a few. There's some major flaws that he could iron out before.
Well, with Buatsi, I wouldn't think that he'd want to hang around the amateurs for another 4 years. Maybe
two.
One.
Maybe the world champion. When is the world championship? 18 months.
Next year.
Like yeah.
Next year.
Or what? Maybe wait 2 and go to the Commonwealth or something.
Something like that. I just don't. What is he? 23-ish.
23.
Am I wrong? Yeah. So turning pro at 25 with a good schooling is. I don't think that's no bad thing. Fighting a lot of bums. That's my problem. You go her and you get bums for 2 years.
You've actually
better than amateur.
You've actually made a good point, and I think I probably agree with you, because I did see flaws as well. Like him, he's really struggled against guys with movement, man. Like he was punching where the guy was, not where the guy was going to be. Like if you're facing a guy that's a runner, you have to kind of predict where he's going to be, and he missed a lot of straight shots to the body well wide, and you think, well, just make the adjustment. Throw it. Like if he's going to his right a lot, shoot the shot to the right, and then you'll get him as he's moving. But I think we all kind of got hyped up by some of his, the stoppages were quite impressive, and he was beating the shit out of some of the guys. And
but they were good guys he stopped though, good guys.
Yeah,
But he got a real runner in that final. I thought I said to now we've got ourselves a runner.
You did, but I guess that's
the guy was talented, but
you have to make the adjustments. He did kind of get old man, didn't he? Like he kept holding him, and you could tell Buatsi was getting frustrated as fuck, man.
That was a poor ref in that as well.
Yeah, he should have got appointed for holding. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that guy was holding.
You have to try to be able to deal with that though too. At the same time, you have to be able to fight out of that, break out of clinches and stuff like that.
That's true. But yeah.
So, can we also now talk about Anthony Fowler?
I knew you wanted to mention Fowler. I was about to mention him as well, because he was mentioned in the chat.
Oh, he's going to knock out Triple G. I was impressed.
The worst thing is, I'm so sorry for him, because the draw was so tough for him. And that guy's definitely going to win a gold medal. He probably got knocked out by a world-class potential medalist. Fucking eliminated in the next round. Yeah, and he was... Yeah. Diabolical, wasn't he?
He took the worst beating as well. I think he probably took the worst beating in the whole Olympics.
And punching the guy in the back of the head. Look, you live and die by the sword, and he fucking trolled Groves. He talks shit all the time, and now you just got to take it. And to be fair, he hasn't blocked many people, but
Yeah, he got the crap beat out of him.
Big mouth.
Did you get? Yeah,
that was right up there with the Lubin Rarui fight, man. He got his ass whooped. That was, if you were to say somebody that was a professional fighter, they probably would have, believed you. Absolutely. And even the guy he lost against wound up losing in the quarterfinals. He didn't even make it to the middle rounds or anything.
Exactly.
So that's because they were all on there, weren't they? All the matchroom people going, "Oh, it's a tough draw. I feel really sorry for him. Go on, champ. You're a top lad." Da, da, da. No, you fucking ran your mouth for years and you got fucking iced. And you live and die by the sword, my young friend.
Yep. Just someone mentioning about the pros, the 3 pros that went to the Olympics. Not a good look, you know.
That was an epic fail, Cap.
Oh,
it was an epic fail.
It was awful. Well, let me start with the weakest of the 3. That was Carmine Tomasone of Italy, because he's not really known. You know, he was basically an undefeated featherweight that went into the Olympics, tried to get a little bit more shine on him, but he basically got shined on against the guy I mentioned earlier, Lázaro Alvarez of Cuba. In Cuba, I mean, Alvarez was able to beat him easy. It wasn't a difficult fight to score. It was a 2-1 or 3-0 type of a fight for Alvarez. And I mean, like I mentioned before, like I wasn't overly impressed by Alvarez. He wasn't like the best of the Cuban team or anything like that, you know. But I thought Balderas beat his ass, and I thought, you know, Conceição cleanly beat him too. So there was him, and then
oh boy.
And then I'm not ruined wrong, man. He got ruined. Wrong. He got ruined wrong by that dude, Sofiane Umija. Although that
was one of the worst beatings. That was as bad as fouling nearly.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, the thing is, he won the first round, but once Umija caught him with that left hook, and that left hook is nasty, because every time he landed that left hook on somebody, he hurt him. But yeah, Ronwong just wasn't able to recover. It was funny though, because he literally got shot by the exact same shot that Casimiro knocked him out with.
Yeah,
Casimiro's got his soul, man.
Yeah, he tried to clinch the guy, like he put his arms forward. He just got clipped with the left hook.
I don't know that shit in a little jar somewhere in a cupboard.
I don't know if you guys remember. I got echo coming from someone. I don't know if you guys remember. Can you hear me now?
No, yeah, that's better.
Yeah. I might just need a call.
No, I can. Right. Anyway.
Yeah, go on.
No, it's still pretty bad. Right, test. No, it's still.
Yeah. Yep.
It's one of you guys.
I think it's just on your end.
You guys try and hang up. Leota?
Huh?
You know, it was Leon, because I hung up on Leon, so it's definitely Leon. Let me try ringing it back. Anyway, I was just saying.
Yeah.
Rob Wrong's first fight as well, it was probably one of the worst ones in the whole tournament. He just a lot of holding and falling over, and I remember.
Well, it was a Wrong fight. You know, it was a Wrong fight.
True.
that's pretty much what you get when you fight that dude.
It was a sloppy though. Over here in the UK, we had commentary by Ronald McIntosh and Richie Woodhall, and they were like bigging him up, telling, you know, they hit that whole story about prison and blah blah blah, and it's like, this guy's he's a pro, and then he comes into the fight and he has probably the worst fight of the whole session or the whole Olympics up until that day. So it kind of reflected bad on professional boxing when you got this guy just doing shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Leon, you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah, it's okay now. It was you, but it's okay. I'll let you off.
Was me, was it?
Yeah,
Sorry.
Don't worry about it. Next.
Yeah. But well, real quick though, Amnat got knocked out, and like I'm not even sure if he's gonna return. You know what I mean? Like he was talking about possibly like coaching the Thai team for the next Olympics and stuff. So, and he may have his soul snatched permanently. I'm sure he'll be back though, because I don't know. He seems like a guy that's pretty competitive. He just needs to not be fighting fucking lightweights that have 4-inch height advantages over his ass.
Oh, he was massive, man. The Frenchman.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's talk about Hassan Endam. Just started too slow.
Yeah, you know, Michel Borges from another Brazilian, you know what I mean? Like, if you're fighting a guy in Brazil, in Brazil, I mean, you got to be able to start faster than that. But, I mean, Borges even still was able to beat him, you know, fairly handily, I thought.
Yeah, I agree.
He was throwing combinations at him, and Endam was just throwing single jabs. He wasn't even really putting anything behind it.
Yep.
And that awkward footwork, you know, Endam just has the worst footwork. It's almost like his legs aren't connected by anything. Like they're moving independently.
Yep. I'm just trying to look through any other talking points.
We've got to go to the robberies, haven't we?
Well, Joe Joyce against Tony Yoka in the finals yesterday. That was pretty bad.
But the worst one's Levitt. I mean, Levitt beat the fucking living shit out of that guy.
Yeah.
Tishenko.
He was knocking him from one side of the ring to the next. I mean, that's the most disgusting decision. That's right up there with some of the worst Olympic boxing results in history. I think.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, they booed the fuck out of his national anthem. I mean,
props to Levitt though. He showed a lot of respect on the podium. He was trying to shush the crowd not to boo while Tishenko was getting awarded his medal.
Yeah,
but that's one of the worst performances ever to win a gold medal, isn't it?
Yeah, it was horrible, man. Tishenko.
Well, not only that, but even his other fights, I thought he didn't win those clearly either. His first fight, he was fighting that Brazilian guy Nogueira. I thought Nogueira gave him hell.
Yeah.
I could have given that fight to Nogueira, honestly. Like, that was an either way type of a fight. And Nogueira was just totally unranked. He was one of those guys that got to the tournament because Brazil hosted the fucking Olympics. If it wasn't for that, he probably would have never even qualified.
But once that result came in, we knew something was amiss because everyone was on Twitter just going, "Oh, look, we worry that something might go wrong. Don't be surprised if another big guy goes out." And then, boom, the Irish boy. Although I think it was a closer fight than the Levitt fight. I mean, he still won that fight, Conlon.
Yeah, Conlon versus Nikitin. Well, and the thing is, the signs were there even before that because Nikitin fought the fighter from Thailand. He got his ass beat in that fight too. Masuk. That's the one where he got that cut initially. And,
was it Chachai Bundy? He fought Chachai Bundy, the guy that took out Kashif Ashfaq.
Yeah, my bad. I was mixing them up. Yeah, Chachai Bundy. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he lost that Bundy fight as well, and he was lucky to scrape that, and then obviously he scraped the Conlon fight. I guess scrape is the perfect word because his face was all scraped up as well, and he couldn't make it past the doctor to fight Stevenson, so Steven got a walkout, and I don't know. I'm going to get to Stevenson as well, but just quickly, your thoughts on the way Conlon reacted. Compared to Levitt, obviously it's worlds apart, and I did really love Levitt's respect, but I kind of like what Conlon did in this sense, and it's kind of opposite to what I usually say. I always say I like the more humble people, but I think this decision and these Olympics kind of needed someone like that to kind of put it in the papers. And why is the guy acting like the way he's acting? Something does need to change because. Yeah. I thought he beat the dude very handedly. His name escapes you, Nikitin, and it was crazy, man. And I was retweeting all the stuff and all the interviews and him swearing on TV. And I don't give a fuck. It was entertaining. But Leon,
he was forced into that situation.
Yeah.
What could I don't know what else. I would have done what he done.
I probably would have as well.
Yeah, I mean, I
got 4 years, man.
Yeah, I kind of don't blame him. Yeah, I mean, the fact of the matter is that he worked long and hard for this. 4 years of his life down the drain over a bad decision. And I mean, if you just look at the results, I mean, Nikitin. I mean, I guess you have to give some of that due to the Thai fighter as well. But Conlon did a lot of that damage too. It made it so that Nikitin couldn't even advance. He couldn't even fight his next fight because. If you look at him on the podium with his bronze medal, he doesn't look like a winner. He doesn't look like a medalist. His face is bashed up. He has a black eye. He has a giant freaking gash on the side of his head. Like, he looked like somebody just, like of the four, you see all four medalists there, gold, silver, and the 2 bronze, and he just looked like he caught hell.
Yeah.
Not like he is an Olympic champion or anything.
Yeah, he looked like he was a victim of a road traffic accident.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Shakur Stevenson because his post-fight interview was excellent and hilarious, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but I'll explain myself in a second. Excellent part, I think, for him, right probably just minutes after he just stepped out of the ring in the final against Ramirez. He's getting interviewed by the dude, and he's saying, I didn't think I won the fight. I really respected that, man, because a lot of guys would have just trying to make excuses and say, nah, I think I won it, I think, I got robbed, blah, blah, blah. But he was so honest, and it was great to see such a young guy and have so much honesty. And, he's gone to the Olympics. It was such a big event. I know a lot of people were touting him to take, possibly gold, but the maturity he showed, I thought was excellent. The crying, though, and this is the funny part, because, everyone knows Michael Jordan, legendary, basketball, legend of the sport. And these days, he's only really remembered for the meme, the crying meme. And I just think that, I think that crying, you couldn't control it, though, but I think it'll kind of haunt him in the future if he turns pro and,
Yeah, but he's a young kid. Michael Jordan was a 40-year-old man, wasn't he? He's a young kid, isn't he?
True, but I don't know. I think those memes are going to haunt him for the rest of his career, to be honest.
Yeah, it's just because people are vicious with regard to on the internet and stuff.
Trolls, yeah.
So if he happens to become a champion, people are gonna try to slag him off, so to speak.
Yeah, but
by doing that.
Props to him, man. Because
a lot of people did try to make excuses for him and act like he was robbed. He was not robbed in that fight. He didn't do enough in that fight. And the thing is, it's like every time he would hit Ramirez immediately had an answer back, and it would usually be in combination. When Ramirez would hit him, his answer back was to clinch.
Yeah, exactly. There was a lot of clinching in that final.
Yeah. But, the thing is, there's not necessarily a whole lot of shame in losing to that guy, though, too, because Robeisy Ramirez may be the best of all of the fighters from Cuba. He's a two-time Olympic gold medalist now. We may be looking at him the same way a lot of people look at, Teofilo Stevenson and Guillermo Rigondeaux, Gamboa, Lomachenko and stuff, insofar as, how great they were as amateurs, you know what I mean? Regardless of whether they did or didn't amount to anything in the pros, they were fantastic amateurs, almost, So it is what it is. But one thing I didn't like is the fact that Floyd Mayweather was already big up in him before he even medaled, before he was even done in the Olympics. Yeah. And I think when stuff like that happens, you're setting somebody up for failure.
I think Floyd did it on purpose, man.
He sabotaged him.
Yeah.
Like I didn't win gold, so you ain't.
Exactly.
Floyd's a casual man. He was talking all kinds of nonsense at the Olympics. He's a pure casual. He knows. He don't watch no boxing.
Yep.
Getting out of Shall I hang up again?
Yes, please. Yeah. While Leon's hanging up, I just want to give an honourable mention to the middleweight, the Cuban. I'm just trying to bring up his name.
Arlen Lopez.
La Cruz. Was it La Cruz?
No, Arlen Lopez.
Oh, was it Lopez?
La Cruz was light heavy.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Lopez really impressed me, but he won Olympic gold, and I don't think he got out of second gear, Naoto. All his fights, he just seemed so comfortable, man. And the commentary here were making a great point that he kind of makes his opponent fight his pace. Whatever pace his opponent wants to set, it doesn't matter, because he just controls him enough where they're fighting at his pace. And at the end of the final, I think he did 4 rolls in each corner of the ring. Do you remember his celebration, Naoto?
Yeah. That's a thing that they did. That's like a Brazilian thing.
But
they
I
do
think
on,
that was the most.
Fights and
I
stuff.
think that was the most energetic thing he did all tournament.
Including
exactly. All his fights, because he just seemed so comfortable, man. I was really impressed. He was obviously a bit on the boring side, because he did slow the pace, and he was kind of working off the right hook and the pivot, and he was doing that really well. I was watching his footwork, and being a southpaw as well, and I thought his footwork was excellent. And
he did fantastic.
Regarding the southpaw, sorry, go on.
Well, and the thing is, it's he's one of those guys. He's almost like a Floyd, where he'll try to take the fight out of the fight. He tries to make it a very one shot at a time affair. But the thing is, he has a lot of power. You could tell, that when he lands on a guy. His first fight, he knocked that guy out. That guy, that guy was asleep on his ass.
Yep.
He didn't drop him flat on his back, but if the ropes hadn't been there, he would have been flat on his back, probably outside of the ring. But otherwise, you could tell he was putting power on the shots, because everybody that fought him, they were hesitant to throw after he hit him a single time. I would have liked to have seen him get pushed a little bit out of second gear, which I think a couple of the guys that I thought got robbed could have potentially done. But at the same time, that's no slight on him, because it's not his fault that the judges screwed up in some of these other fights, and he didn't necessarily get to fight the guys that would have tested him. I think the guy that probably would have tested him the most was the guy from Mexico, Misael Rodriguez, because he was basically like Porky Medina in the amateurs. He just came forward and attacked. And I thought that he basically just kind of left it up in the air too much against Uzbeki, who wound up fighting Lopez in the finals, and Melikuziev wound up winning that fight. But I think Rodriguez could have easily won it too, had he put a more of an exclamation mark on the punches that he was landing, because I thought he was landing pretty consistently against him. But overall, yeah, Lopez was he was just cruise control the whole time. He had a pretty good draw, and he made the most of it by just completely schooling everybody he fought.
Yep, and I put a tweet out halfway through the Olympics saying Southpaw shall inherit the earth. There were so many Southpaws in this year's tournament. I think there were almost as many Southpaws as Orthodox, man. So I guess my brethrens are going to take over soon, guys.
Yes,
let's hope not.
Don't hate you.
Yeah, there he is.
What's time?
Nothing to give us a few minutes. We're just about to wrap up the Olympic stuff.
Yeah,
please do.
Somebody, I can't remember who it is that mentioned it in the chat that Overbro. He was talking about Lorenzo Sotomayor of Azerbaijan, originally from Cuba. That dude was really impressive too, especially when he fought his ex-teammate from Cuba. He schooled him, man. He 3-0'd him. I thought he was a really impressive fighter. I was actually surprised that he wound up losing the finals to Gabnazarov of Uzbekistan.
That was a
really good fight.
That was
too.
a close fight, though.
Yeah, that was. It was. It could have gone either way, but
yeah.
I thought that Sotomayor, he was making the mistake a lot of the fighters that fought Duzmatov made, where it's like he was fighting too tall, and he got his height used against him. And it was either he was fighting too tall or he was giving it away and kind of leaving his chin hanging out. And I think that just overall cost him against Gabnazarov, because he was landing a good 1-2 on him, but he wasn't varying up the punches quite enough in order to get the victory. He wound up losing the decision. But yeah, he was impressive.
Yep.
I mean, I can't say it enough about Balderas though, man. Like he was the best of all the Americans, like in terms of overall skill set. Like, you know, the way he was able to switch stances, he was able to fight both as a southpaw and orthodox. He was able to punch from both stances, punch in combination from both stances. And I mean, I really thought that he gave a beat down to Alvarez from Cuba. And he just didn't get the decision. That was one of the worst ones, in my opinion, because I think that Balderas, once he turns pro, I mean, I think he's going to be somebody to look out for around like super featherweight, lightweight, and those weight classes.
Yep. Leon Neota, anything else regarding the men's Olympics?
No.
Well, I mean, as I mentioned before, Joe Joyce, I thought he beat Tony Yoka's ass. So I'm looking forward to seeing when he turns pro. Maybe we'll see him down the line against Anthony Joshua.
Joyce is so stiff and robotic, though, man. No head movement. He is like a baseball bat.
Stiff idiot.
And he doesn't rotate. A lot of his punches are arm punches. Obviously, they're effective, but if you put some more rotation, I think he'd generate more power. But he's definitely fun to watch, man, because I think there was one night, one of the evening sessions, I think there were 3 knockouts in a row. There was the Joyce fight. There was another fight. I think the Uzbek versus Venezuelan, and there was the Nigerian super heavyweight. Was it Ajagbo? He got a beautiful knockout over Nigel Paul. He just landed face first, out cold, man. So
that was excellent.
Yeah, it was. Joyce was definitely fun to watch. Any thoughts on Joyce, Leon?
I thought he was really good, and I thought he won the fight, but I think he gets knocked out in the professionals at the highest level.
Yeah, the thing is, I think they were talking on the build-up show yesterday on Box Nation, because they had like an hour to kill before the Spence Bundu fight, that because he's had the WSB fights, with the 5 rounds and stuff, he could be fast-tracked in the professional, because he doesn't need to fight 10 bums. He's fought like top amateurs from other top.
Yeah, he's used to the
countries.
distance too.
Yeah, and his gas tank's a bit better than most guys, because even like in the 3rd rounds of most of his fights, he was still throwing with high volume, and it's like some of these heavyweights, they were getting gassed by the second part of the 2nd round. So I remember, I think Joyce fought the guy, was it in the semi-finals, where I think he lost the 1st round.
Dichko.
Yeah, he lost the 1st round, and he came back in the 2nd and picked up the 3rd as well. Only because Ditchko just got gassed out.
Yep.
But yeah, definitely. Let's speak about the women's quickly. Clarissa Shields, man, she really impressed me. I haven't seen her before, and she's the only one I just thought technique-wise and skills-wise that could hang it with men. Like, a lot of the women's boxing I saw in the Olympics, man, the technique was very poor. They were, the shot selection was very poor. Like, they had that kind of hip-hoppy style, jumping in, jumping out like kangaroos, and I don't know. A lot of the women's session, I was kind of like on my phone or on my laptop more than I was watching. I had it on in the background, but I wasn't paying too much attention. But she just seemed so comfortable. Her head movement's excellent. Her precision was very good, man. She's the only one that really impressed me, and she impressed me more than Adams as well, because I don't think Adams technically is that good, but we'll probably get to Adams in a bit. But your thoughts on Clarissa Shields? Naota, you posted me a link with her tweeting out to Floyd saying, "How come you not congratulated me?" which is quite funny.
Yeah, it's pretty amusing, man. It kind of shows how little respect women's boxing as a whole gets, unfortunately, and unfortunately for her, because I mean, yeah, she's a dynamo. I remember when I first watched her 4 years ago, back in 2012. She was only 17 at the time too when she won that first gold medal. And she impressed me even then. And seeing what impressed me about her back then was really more so the fact that she was physically able to just completely overwhelm everybody that she fought. She didn't quite have the technique down because she hadn't been boxing for as long as she has now, obviously. Now she can box a little bit more in the mid-range and on the outside as well. But she still has that strength and that power on the inside to just bully anybody that she fights against. But she can also, style on them a little bit too. So yeah, she was really impressive to me. And like you were kind of hinting at, and like Leon was talking about before we started the show, when you're watching, like, say, like women's diving or women's gymnastics or women's swimming or what have you, like, you could see the technique is about even or about comparable to with the men's technique. The only thing that's lacking is the physicality, of course. But with Shields, you can at least see that she's technically got a lot of sound fundamental things in her skill set. So it's more comparable to watching fights that you're used to seeing, as opposed to with a lot of the females. Some of them look stiff, some of them look gangly, like they don't look as well coordinated. But Shields, she's able to fight, without it looking awkward, without it looking like she barely is learning how to box, like she just took a fitness boxing class and now she's in the Olympics.
Exactly.
Yeah, she did a really solid job, and she overwhelmed pretty much everybody she fought. The only fighter that gave her some trouble was the finals. The girl from, where was she from? Like Finland?
She's from Holland.
Yeah, Holland. There we go. Hey, yeah, Kimo.
Kimo's girl. Yeah.
Kimo's country girl.
Leon, any thoughts sorry, go on, Naota.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna ramble.
Leon, any thoughts on Shields?
I didn't watch 1 second of female boxing in the Olympics.
Oh, that says a lot.
Because, like Neil said, and I'm sorry, it's just not good enough. I'm not going to watch something where the skill levels so disparable between the men's and the women's. They're not good enough.
Yeah, with
sorry, it sounds horrible, but I'll watch female gym. If you took female boxing and then put them up against female cyclists or female diving or female gymnastics, like now it said, the skill levels in those are as good, and in some cases better than the men's. Female gymnastics, that girl from America is fucking ridiculous, and was one of the best athletes at the whole competition. So no, the female boxers were nowhere near the elite female athletes at that Olympics. So what? I just don't have. No, I'm not going to watch it.
I was just saying about Adams to you guys before we started the show. As much as respect I give her, and she's not technically as good as someone like Shields, but she's still decent. It's just, I think, if you fight 3 times and you get handled a gold medal, I don't think, don't get me wrong, I'm not being salty, and I just think you've not really earned it as much of, some guys that fought in the males tournament. They were fighting 5 times with cuts that they got in the first fight. It's the women's.
It's not as rigorous.
Yeah, it's not in depth.
It's almost like they didn't. It's almost like they didn't quite earn it as much as like the men did.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying in a roundabout way. I just don't think they deserve it as much as some of the guys, because they've had to go through 5 fights to get to a final. Yeah. She got a bye, and In the first fight, she's guaranteed a medal. It's just the women's. There's no strength in depth in the women's boxing.
And then you transfer it to another sport. The women's the British female hockey team had to have 8 or 9 matches, which they won all of them in a 10-day period.
Exactly.
I mean, compare them as athletes.
Yeah, that's a whole different level of endurance.
In comparison to the other female sports taking part in the Olympics. So it's nothing about female boxing. It's just the skill set is not good enough.
Yeah. All right.
Depth isn't there, like you said.
Well, and the thing is, I think the depth could be there if they allowed more people to qualify, but it's almost like they artificially cut short the amount of spots that they were giving out.
You know what, I think they probably do that because the quality of the people qualifying would probably be worse anyway. So it's like, well, we're just going to get loads of bad fights, so let's just have a few bad fights.
Possibly. Well, and you got to think about the fact that not every Olympic committee really has women's boxing in their country as well.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you'd have maybe like the USA and Great Britain having like 2 or 3 people competing, or Ireland, having like double qualifiers or something, as opposed to some of these other countries that really don't have females in the ring, whether it's a cultural thing or whatever it is.
Interesting. Yeah, that's true. Okay, we need to move on, but you guys got any final things you want to say about the Olympics?
I enjoyed it, even though it's corrupt.
I did enjoy it. It was a nice break. It was a nice break for 2 weeks, just having constant, something to watch after work.
Yeah.
Better than match.
Well, not only that, but you get to see the progression. You get to see a progression of a guy from this round to the next round. And they're fighting, this guy, then the next guy they're fighting is better, but you see consistent progression all the way until they win their gold, as opposed to and it's kind of refreshing as opposed to like the pros where you don't get that kind of instant gratification with the pros. It all becomes speculation. Hopefully Errol Spence is going to be able to get a big fight against one of the top names. Hopefully. But it's probably not going to be happening. At least with the Olympics and some of these amateur tournaments, you get to see a guy compete against 2 or 3 top elite level fighters within the span of a couple of weeks or a week or so. Yep. And that's refreshing.
You get a finished story, don't you? You don't just get like a chapter to a book. You get a whole story. That's why we all 3 of us took to that Martinez story, because it was just fucking brilliant.
Exactly. Because he was the underdog in every fight, and he won them all and except one. But quick question to you, Naoto, or you, Leon, as well. I just don't understand, with the head guards being removed, you got this 2-week period, and some of the weight classes were starting like 5-6 days after the first session of boxing, and I don't understand why some of the fights are not spread out and give opportunities to guys with cuts and stuff to heal a bit better. Do you guys know?
Scheduling was poor. I don't think they got any idea why they scheduled it like that.
Well, I think the reason they scheduled it the way they did is simply because of the fact that they wanted to make it so that some of the weight classes were able to
finish.
Finish earlier, and also the fact that so that once you get into the last days of Olympic competition, it's like it wouldn't be like they were going to rush to get all of the gold medal fights done and then do all of the medal ceremonies all at the same time. I think it was really just more of like an aesthetic scheduling thing than anything else, and also trying to give like equal time to all of the medalists. Because if you're trying to give everybody their medals all at the same time, it's almost like they cram into each other. So you don't necessarily get the same level of, I guess, probably due respect, regard, and publicity for each of the medalists that you would otherwise if they're a little bit more spread out. So I think that's probably why they did it. And also the fact that, they all basically had to fight every other day for the most part. So in terms of the cuts, I think that's something that can't necessarily be helped. It's just a fact of the matter thing, with regards to that. You have to compete for several days in a row, essentially, over the course of 8, 9, 10 days. So if you get a cut, or something like that, then that's just pretty much on you. Then the one nice thing about that, though, is the fact that the cut man is actually able to use like a chemical cauterizing agent, which is actually illegal in the pros. So most of those cuts were able to be, like, the bleeding was able to be stopped, as opposed to with the pros, where they're not allowed to use that stuff. They're just allowed to use like the astringent and the Vaseline. And
they've only got 45 seconds to work on the cut, haven't they?
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, they've got a time limit of how long they can actually work on the cut. So that probably helps. But one quick other thing, I think I found there was a lot of there's a lot of slap punches, there's a lot of poor technique, as in the quality of the shots being landed. Not there was good kind of landing of shots, but technique on them wasn't always fantastic.
Yeah, I think a lot of the preliminary fights, they were quite poor, but I think when you weeded out some of the weaker guys, I think after that the quality really raised up, and when you had like a top 10 guy versus another top 10 guy, the fights were always usually quite competitive.
There were some scrappy fights, but there was, like I said, there was only one complete mismatch first of all, which was the Joe Joyce first fight.
Yeah.
I feel as if
going into it.
I know you guys have talked about it for about 50 minutes. I just want to say I feel as if Olympic boxing would be built a lot better if there was no Cuba. Just take the country.
Preach.
Take the country of Cuba away, because these Cuban boxers, they keep on winning. We can't have that. That style needs to die a death.
Or they go to Azerbaijan.
Well, I think you're kind of overgeneralizing though, Chu, because Robeisy Ramirez. Yeah, well, I'm just saying, because Robeisy Ramirez and Yusvani Vichia are really good inside fighters. They're not guys that just run around the ring and try to, basically say, like, please don't hurt me. They're in there gutting it out. And that's the reason why I ranked those two really highly. That's the reason why Ramirez beat Stevenson, because if he had that other style that you're talking about, he wouldn't have won that fight.
I'm not necessarily talking about the action in the ring, but like a guy like... I didn't see the fight, but, I know that Stevenson lost against that Cuban. What will that Cuban do now? Will he turn pro?
Go to Azerbaijan.
Yeah, he'll do something stupid. You'll never hear of him again. Who heard of the guy who beat Floyd Mayweather?
But you're talking about it as in it's a feeding ground, as in it's to the same sport. I just see it as a different thing.
I agree there. It is a totally different thing. It's like fencing. And in general, not everyone, of course.
This tournament wasn't cheap.
Say that again?
This tournament wasn't. Am I echoing again?
Yeah, a wee bit, but I didn't. The format this year, I've been busy working, so I didn't get to see it. But 3 rounds, I feel as if you're close to having the right formula, but you're not quite there yet. I feel 3 rounds is too short. Just as some fighters are starting to find their groove, step up a bit. I feel as if some inferior fighters can just spaz, just have like 12 minutes of fucking non-stop action, nick a decision, and then they'll get fucking knocked out in the next round by, because they're fucking knackered because they spazzed. I dislike the format.
Understandable, Chu. I think we're done on the Olympics. Chu, let's talk about Spence and Bundu that happened last night. Weird one, Sunday night. I think it was about 5-6 p.m. on the East Coast and 10-11 over here. Weird scheduling as well, because I think Hardy fight was initially supposed to go first, and then they changed it. Put Spence versus Bundu first. I know you caught the fight. What were your thoughts?
Spence looked amazing. Bundu looked 41. And Bundu is never really going to be a guy who could challenge Spence in any way, shape or form. If you're feeding a dog scraps from the table or a salad, he's not going to turn into that strong pit bull that you want. And I feel as if Spence is just going through the motions in these kind of fights. We can all see he's got the ability. We can all see that he's got the potential to be the best in the game, but if you're going to be fighting these kind of guys, then it's just a waste of time, man.
I don't know.
The whole thing was an anticlimax.
I don't know. You have to play devil's advocate. You wanted to shut at the IBF. You wanted a shot at Brook, or whether Brook vacates or whether he wanted that title. IBF said you have to beat Leonard Bundu. It's not like he chose to fight him. Well, he did choose to fight him, but it's not like there was a reason he fought him.
Regardless why he had to fight Bundu, I don't necessarily blame Spence for doing that, but I blame just the whole situation. Why are the fucking IBF putting that guy in that position? why does Spence have to beat Bundu to get a title shot? I mean, how much longer does he need to wait? How many more guys does he need to beat?
No, I agree with you there, and that's more the IBF, to be honest, because I don't think this final eliminated was needed. I think he could have faced Brook after he beat Algieri, because I think Algieri was good enough to get you a title shot.
In terms of the fight itself and the punches, he's a beast. The southpaw right hook, the long left of the body. He's almost like a southpaw version of Mayweather with some of the shit he does. Just even like the rolling. I like the way he's just always in range. He's never running. He's always right there, but he always somehow makes the other guy miss. I feel it's almost like a bit of James Toney in there as well, man. Just the way he kind of rolls shots and comes back with something. Just a beast of a fighter. And if he was to fight Kell Brook, I know it's looking unlikely now, but yeah, I'm starting to lean more towards Spence.
I'm just thinking if Kell Brook doesn't return to welterweight, like, what terrible title shot will IBF come up with? Maybe like the Bundu rematch for Spence or some shit, because Jojo Dan or fucking, what terrible title shot are we going to have for Spence?
Let's have a look in the top 10.
Well, you know what? I'm thinking that it could either be Konstantin Ponomarev, who's the next highest ranked, or if Heyman's able to, work some of his magic in terms of, relationship with the WBO, or the IBF, excuse me, Lamont Peterson.
Peterson versus Spence is a good fight, man.
Nah.
You don't like that, Lim?
No, for an IBF title.
What would be superior, though, would be him and Felix Diaz.
Felix Diaz, my boy. But
I mean, come on. I mean, Felix is he's a fine fighter. All those fights are just not they're not title worthy in my opinion.
Yeah, but Lim,
what is it?
But Lim, we know.
I know. Hold on. I know what you're going to ask me. You're going to ask me then what's better, and
no.
I don't know the answer to that.
I was just going to say we know titles don't mean shit. Now that's the problem.
That's what I'm saying, and I was just going to mention what do you think of these guys nowadays? If you're a 16-year-old, 17-year-old kid and you're growing up in the ranks and you're like, my dream is to win a world title. And it seems like the majority of titles nowadays are just handed over to guys who just fight in a vacant situation. So you're not even fighting the guy who got the belt. And this shit is just going on and on and on and on. And it's driving me crazy. I mean, Errol Spence is the truth. He's that good. Everything that Trude just mentioned, I agree with 100%. I think he's the best guy at 147, and the only question that I have is what kind of chin and what kind of durability he has. And if he has a really good chin, like he's Golovkin level good. He's that good. He's got everything. He's got the entire package. But I just want to see how he takes a punch. So I do want to step on the brakes a little bit in terms of guys who are just saying that he's going to run over, Thurman and Brook and even Danny Garcia, because I still want to see him get hit with a flush punch from a guy who can actually crack. But other than that, I mean, he's answered all the questions. But just going back to some of the names that you just mentioned, Naota and Cam, like they're all guys who had their primes at 140, in my opinion. Like Felix Diaz is a 140 fighter. Lamont Peterson had his best days at 140, and I don't think he's that good of a 47 fighter. So none of those fights really interest me.
No, if someone came up to me and asked or told me one day I'm going to be a world champion, I would just turn around and say, all right, which world champion? Which belt do you want? And the kid would be like, I don't know, man. That's it. No boxing fan grows up going, I want to be the WBO world champion. Every boxing fan thinks it's one belt growing up. And then when you actually watch the sport, it's kind of like, what the fuck is this watered down shit? Who is the champion? Who is the contenders?
I don't think boxers themselves think like that, though. That's how fans think. I think if they can get a world belt, they see themselves as a world champion. They're they're kind of got a narrow view of things, boxers, I think.
Yeah, and boxers aren't known as the most intelligent batch of people either, so...
Half of them don't fucking watch the sport. We watch more fucking boxing than most boxers. Yeah. Honestly.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, but
can't trust
going back to what I was talking about with regards to his opponents, so if you look at the IBF top 15, it's not like there's illustrious names where you think like, oh shit, that's going to be a hard fight for Spence. He's going to be favored over everybody. There, you got Sammy Vasquez, Eddie Gomez, Leonard Bundu still there, of course.
Jeff Horn.
Jeff Horn.
It's going to be Jeff Horn.
Is that Kevin Horn's brother? Is he any good?
Better than him.
He beats Golovkin.
KH beats him.
Well, I mean, KH would have a pretty substantial weight advantage, so I don't really think otherwise either. But, yeah, I mean, what were you saying, Trey? He beats Golovkin?
Yeah, Jeff Horn.
Oh, I thought you meant Errol. Okay, I can see that. I can see Jeff Horn beating Golovkin. But, yeah, because, I mean, I think we all agree, right, that Hellbrook isn't coming back down to 147 after the Golovkin fight. And even if he does, he's not going to be able to come back within a reasonable time frame, right? So
he's never getting back down there.
It's slim pickings for Spence. I mean, I just want to see him get that title as soon as possible, and then I don't know. I mean, maybe set up a unification bout later down the road. But just the way things are going right now with PBC, it's like, and this is what kind of drives me crazy with boxing, is that you have a fight like Porter versus Thurman. And it's the best fight of the year, you know, when that fight took place. And if you're a decent promotional company, you have to pounce upon that as soon as possible and try to make sure that you're in the public's ear and let them know what's going on, like what's going to be the future route for both of these fighters. You know, how is the path going to look like for all of these 147 fighters? And like right now, we don't know anything what's going on with those guys. You know, we don't know who Thurman's next fight is. We don't know Danny's next fight. I mean, we're talking about a bullshit Berto fight for the past, 2-3 weeks, and nothing's come about regarding that. And I think Sean Porter is fighting like in Washington or fucking Oregon, right? Like somewhere in the woods. Like, come on, man. Like, what's going on with the situation? You know, you got 4 of the 5 best welterweights, and you just had a great fight with Thurman versus Porter, and you saw a really good turnout because it was a really competitive match. Like, you would think that these guys would make this the norm moving forward, right? This is the business model that should be what you guys are doing, and you guys have been in business for 3 years now already. Like, so what's the deal, man? Like, get these fighters in the fucking ring. They should be fighting 3-4 times a year. You know, like they're 26, 28 years old. Like they have no reason to take 2-3 months off. It just makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
And to segue back into the fight itself, Bundu and fucking Spence, you know, the lack of competitiveness in the fight made it kind of like a disinterested crowd. I know Leon was talking about the crowd in the arena privately. You know, it's like, if a fan pays to watch a world-class boxing event in an arena like that, I think it just kind of drips down to the whole fucking event. The whole fucking, it looked like a fucking airport hangar.
Yeah, but like Leon mentioned, I don't think anybody actually bought a ticket for that fight. They probably just bought a ice cream cone and they got free entrance.
They were at an amphitheater, like a place that they usually have plays at and stuff.
Yeah, it looked like it was in the zoo or something. Like you were walking through the zoo and they had that little bit of outdoor space where people show off owls and stuff.
Like, what was the attendance for that fight? Does anybody know?
I don't know.
It couldn't have been that big because, like I said, it was an amphitheater. It's
I
a
heard
place
them
where
say
people watch plays.
I heard Box Nation say 5K, or the guy that was doing the commentary, the American guy that was doing the commentary on the feed, saying 5K. But I don't know. That place didn't look like it could hold 5K.
About right.
I don't know.
There were fight people on Coney Island that day, but they weren't at that fight.
Well, it was raining. It was raining too, so that didn't help. You know, so it's an outdoor space essentially, and it's raining. So
yeah, no one likes to go to the zoo when it's raining.
Neil, so your thoughts on the fight?
Well, I mean, I thought Bundu got mopped up. I was gonna say Bundu mopped up. No, he got mopped up. He got knocked out, and I mean, I was really impressed with what Spence was able to do. He did kind of what people were expecting him to do with regards to what he had done to Algeria. Like, we're wanting to see this guy be like the next, like here comes a new challenger, almost like some Street Fighter video game type shit. Like he's the new bad guy on the rise, or the new guy that's like this fierce, undefeated fighter that, you know, who knows where his ceiling's going to be, and he could potentially beat everybody that we thought were the best welterweights of the past, few years, essentially. But the thing is, like the old saying says, styles make fights, and kind of like what Lim was alluding to, We don't necessarily know how he's going to match up when he fights like a Thurman or a Garcia or a Porter or those type of guys, because of the fact that he's destroying some of these guys more impressively than Dade did, but that's not an absolute guarantee that he's just going to destroy them automatically. Because he does get hit a bit. He does have some defensive liabilities. But if he is able to take a punch, then we could be looking at like a Golovkin of the welterweight division, in terms of the fact that his offense, especially his body work, is really, really impressive, and the way he was able to kind of hunt down Bundu and then eventually just put him to sleep was that was something to behold, man. This is exactly the type of fighter that welterweight's been kind of waiting for. The type of guy that, and not like Pacquiao or Mayweather, where these are guys that came up from low weight, and so at welterweight they're not really like the same kind of knockout dynamos that they were at the lighter weights. But a guy that can go out in there, he's a natural, big welterweight guy that could potentially even be a light middleweight in years to come. And he's all action, skill, and he's the total package pretty much from the looks of it.
Leon, your thoughts on Spence Bundu? Leon.
Oh, sorry, I was muted and talking. Sorry, because I was being accused of being a racist.
All right.
It's gone. Yeah. Chat on.
I don't know what the fuck. This is
somebody in the chat. It was somebody in the chat that was trolling Leon. So yeah. He was getting.
I heard Leon's sexist comment earlier, but I guess he's a racist now too.
No, it's good.
I'm totally kidding, Leon.
No, Bundu looks like time had caught up with him, but it's still brutal. No one's done that to him, so you got to give him props. You got to judge him on that one fight, and it was very good. So let's see if they give us what Dan wants, and that some good fights.
Yeah, hopefully.
They're great fights, aren't they? Thurman, Spence. I want
yes,
Porter,
please.
Spence.
Yes, please.
I think you'd knock out Porter, but
I do too.
Yeah.
I think Porter could be his toughest fight, though, to be honest with you.
Why?
Because of how Porter's able to match him on the inside. The other guys, I think that he would just overwhelm on the inside. Spence.
I think Porter would be his easiest fight after a really hard first couple of rounds.
Because his technique's so much better on the inside.
So and Porter is so.
Well, who would you think would be his hardest, Lim?
I think Thurman. Just stylistically, I think Thurman would present him with the least opportunities.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think I know where you're coming from, Nauta. I really do. Like, I think the first 3-4 rounds, I think Porter, it might be one of those fights like, oh my god, what's going on with Errol?
Like Patton Mayweather.
And then, after the fourth round, he would just time him. Because, Errol, what he does beautifully is he just takes a step back, or even he'll take a half step back, and then he'll do, a really short pivot and throw a beautiful hook right on the fucking chin. And, that's what Thurman wasn't able to do. And I think Spence would be able to do that. So, and I know this is kind of irrelevant, but I was kind of disappointed in Thurman's performance against Sean, honestly. I know he won that fight, but technically he didn't really show me much. He always harps on his ability to quote-unquote adjust in a fight and be able to capitalize on his opponent's mistakes, and I didn't really see that in that fight. And I think Errol's the kind of guy who can do that.
Does he harp on or does he flute on?
He flutes. My apologies. He flutes. But I did hear that he just purchased a harp at that music store, so he might be able to harp on it in the future.
Hopefully he doesn't drive and do that at the same time.
Yeah, we don't want another neck injury. That might prevent his harping skills, his flute skills, and his boxing skills in the future. But I just think Errol is the man. Let's just pray to God that PBC actually does us right and gives us those matchups that we were just talking about.
Fingers crossed.
It doesn't really look like it.
It's a shame that Brooks going up to fight Golovkin, because Brooks Spence is a much better fight than Brooke Golovkin. I think Brooke gives him trouble, but it's a close fight. But we'll never get to see that now. That's over.
Anything else regarding Spence? Should we move on? I'll take that as moving on. Undercard, there was a really fun 6-rounder. Trying to bring up the names here.
Abraham Nova versus Rafael Garriga.
Yeah, two dudes, man. I think that was Nova's second fight, and Garriga's like 6th or 7th or something. But just a really fun 6-rounder, man. Both guys got knockdowns. Both guys got hurt numerous times. Really fun fight to watch. If you've not seen it, definitely try and catch it on YouTube or something.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly the type of fight that you want to see on like a PBC card, like swing bout type like that. Where I mean, outside of the main event, you really want to see like high action, especially if it's guys that you really don't know about. That's the type of stuff you want to see.
Yeah, it's not about how matchups that you make with it. You'd rather see a lower level good fight than a mismatch.
Yeah.
But I just stopped it after the first knockdown. He looked fucking right out of it.
I'm surprised the ref let it go on, to be honest.
Yeah, I am. But fair play, because, great fight afterwards. I'm glad he didn't stop it.
Yeah, true.
Sizing the ref.
Because he came back and got that knockdown.
Yeah.
And then he got hurt again later on. They were both trying to hook. Left hookers, man, and the dude kept getting caught first. But, yeah, really fun fight. Let's talk about Heather Hardy, man. I was saying to you guys off air, I think she thinks she's Roy Jones, man, with the low hands, and I think she thinks that she's got a granite chin, man. Is pretty. It wasn't a bad fight overall. I just think that one judge's card, the one that had it 99-91, I think it was way off, man, because it was a close fight. Hardy was just getting caught a bit too much in the second half of the fight. She's just relying on her chin and low hands. I hate when people have low hands and they haven't got the reflexes to kind of slip shots, because
and gave away her height, almost like sticking her chin out in the air for Vincent to hit, and Shelly Vincent was just she's so damn short. All Hardy really had to do was just kind of put a jab on her and then just counter her coming in.
Yep.
Yeah. She probably just has a really bad gas tank, because when people really do that kind of tactics, it's usually you just don't have the stamina to use your feet. True. That's probably what it is. Because I've seen Heather Hardy when I used to live in New York. I used to see her spar all the time over at Mendez Boxing Gym, and she would always do that. Like the first couple of rounds of sparring, she would be on her back foot. She'd box, decently, and then she would resort to that kind of, upper body movement type of fighting. That low hands, chin up in the air, try to dodge punches with your upper body. And I don't know. Like Leon said earlier, it's women's boxing. The skill level of these two fighters was extremely low. I thought it was a pretty garbage-ass fight, and it makes me cringe sometimes when I see the lack of just technical skills of some of these fighters. So, that's really all I have to say. On the I tapped out.
No worries, Dan. You were breaking up a bit. I don't know if you want to hang up and call back. But anyone else got any thoughts on Hardy?
Didn't watch it.
I'll take that as a no. I don't really want to talk about the Ward fight. It was pretty.
Leon the sexist.
The Ward Brown fight was pretty terrible, man. I don't think we should give it any time. The only thing I do want to talk about is, the way Kathy Diva's coming out and saying, negotiations or whatever, they're not really going well. So it's made me think, because I was speaking to Dan about it over the weekend, it's giving me a bad feeling that this fight's not going to happen with Kovalev now. You guys got any thoughts?
I think the fight has to take place, just because the way that HBO already put it on the platter after Ward's fight against Brand. I feel like it has to take place.
Basically told Pacquiao and Arum to fuck off with the Vargas fight.
Yeah. And I just got to take a shit on Kathy Duva real quick. I know that people like Chemo and Black Man's Joe have an old woman's fetish with Kathy Duva, and I don't know why. But I don't understand why you would put your opponent's promotional company on blast like that in public. It doesn't set a good precedent for trying to get shit done.
Lim.
Yeah, can you hear me?
You're breaking up really bad.
And you sound like Max Headroom.
No, you're really bad, Dan. I'm gonna hang up on you and just call back, Dan. Yeah. Let me try calling him back.
Well, I mean, kind of going what he was talking about. Yeah, putting your opponent's promotional company on blast like that isn't a great way to do business. Ward already, as it is, it seems like a really difficult person to deal with. Him and his team, whoever it happens to be running it, whether it's him or Jay Prince or whomever, they're always being difficult to deal with. I do know that supposedly, I guess Ward was. Like, it wasn't mandatory for him to be at that first thing, and so Kathy Duva might have been just kind of talking shit. But again, it's something where it's like when you're putting on one side or the other, it's not, I don't know, it just doesn't seem conducive to making everything run smoothly. And there's always there's always a bit of history there with Ward in terms of, basically stacking the odds against the opponent if they're going to pull out, but Ward can pull out almost any time, like if he so chooses to. I mean, even KH could vouch for that, with some of the stuff that he's seen. But yeah, I mean, it's really difficult to say, man. Ward is such a wild card. You never know if he's going to be fighting. If he's even signed for a fight. You don't know if he's ever actually going to fight until he's in the ring there against the other guy. Because at any time, things could just fall apart.
They might say it's not mandatory to be there for the first one, but if this is your first ever pay-per-view, and you want to be a big star, you've both got to turn up and do your job. I mean, if it doesn't get made, that's a massive disappointment. If Ward fucks this up and it comes out being his fault, he becomes completely irrelevant. I mean, Kovalev, I think, can probably get away with it, but this is dangerous for Ward. No one wants.
Hey, Cam, can you hear me?
Yep.
We hear you now, man.
All right, so I was just going to say, now it's already mentioned it, but I just wanted to take a shit on Kathy Duva because, I'm going to shit on her and Ward, obviously, but with Duva, I just think she gets a pass because she's an old lady, and people don't want to be disrespectful to an older lady, but to tell you the truth, I mean, granted, I know that Ward's a prima donna, and he's a fucking diva in these kind of situations, but at the same time, putting someone on blast like that, like now to mention, is never conducive to successful negotiations moving forward. And at the same time, you have to understand your positioning. Duva Promotions or whatever they're called. I mean, they're like the fourth, fifth tier, right? Like they're the promotional company that everyone looks at when everything is falling apart. So just understand that, and trying to put someone down like that isn't going to help at all. I mean, you've already fucked up the Stevenson negotiations with Kovalev, and if you fuck up this one, what are you going to do with Kovalev? Like, what do you have to show for Kovalev's entire career? Like, sure, he's got the reputation of being this killer, but what's his best win on his resume at the end of the day? It's still Hopkins. So if you can't put a single top-level guy on his resume when everything's said and done, like, what do you have to show for your guy? The only reason why your promotional company is even noteworthy at this time is because you have Kovalev. And if you can't do anything with that, then you're pretty much worth nothing, in my opinion.
But she did sound very, very frustrated, and I can understand if she's getting mucked around by these people. What do you do? I mean, they're both in the same position, so they're obviously not making it easy for her to do her job. So
that's fair. But I would just complain internally. I would keep everything in-house, and I would talk to HBO execs over and over and over again, because like Nauta said, there's a reason why they decided to bypass that Manny Pacquiao date is because of this fight. So just, put the pressure on that vice president, Peter, whatever his name is, at HBO, and tell them to make these people do their fucking jobs.
But you don't know. I watched a Steve Kim thing, and he said they were there with HBO and Kathy Duva were there and Ward wasn't. Now, who's to say that HBO didn't greenlight her saying that? They might have said, well, then, don't do it. Put on, they might
that's what they did.
Pressure on. You just don't know, do you? But no, you're right. It is a bad look, but
yeah.
Always looking.
I mean, if that is what happened, hypothetically speaking, Leon, then HBO are bigger idiots. I mean, granted, HBO does control Ward's rights to some degree, right, in terms of television appearances and showing the fights, obviously. So I would think that they would have the most leverage in this situation to deal with Ward and Rock Nation. I mean, and I'm just saying this because we all know that Ward is a fucking prima donna, so there's no point in really shitting on him because we all know what his antics are. He's a guy who thinks he's above the world and that people love to watch him fight when that's totally not the case. he's like a girl who's a fucking 3, but she thinks she's a 10, so she won't give it up. That's Andre Ward.
I think he's super paranoid, I think that's what it is. I think he's just like a paranoid guy, and he just thinks everyone's against him.
Yeah,
that too.
You're right. He does. He always blames the media for concocting ways to shit on him when everything that he gets shit for is granted.
He basically wants everything that Floyd has without putting in the work to self-promote the way that Floyd did.
But even if he wasn't happy with negotiations, why not turn up at the press conference and say that rather than just hiding away?
Yeah, that's a good point, Leon. That's probably the best.
But I'm here.
Like a petulant child.
That's the best format to do so. And I was going to think for a second if he actually had a difficult fight with Brand. I mean, you could use the excuse that he was just resting and he needed time to recover, but he fought a fucking janitor for that fight, so that's a really valid excuse.
He didn't look the greatest in that fight, though, too, to be honest with you. I mean, in terms of difficult fight, you could use the excuse like, well, every fight's a difficult fight. These guys are trying to kill each other. Ha, ha, ha. But at the same time, I'm just saying, some people will do that, though. Ward apologists. But,
the thing Brand is like Bundu's daddy, in terms of age. That's his level of opponent, so I don't think that was a difficult fight at all. That's like going to the gym and sparring for 4 rounds. Like that's the same.
It shouldn't have been, but it looked pretty difficult for Ward watching it.
Yeah, Ward definitely didn't look good.
I was saying to most people, I don't think he's got the confidence in that shoulder because him turning southpaw as well, and once he did turn southpaw, he was letting off the backhand with bad intentions. But up until then, when he was in orthodox, he was sparingly using the right hand. He was more with the jab and the left hook. So I just don't think he has the confidence in the shoulder. Maybe that's what's delaying the negotiations with Kovalev.
It sucks, man, because I wanted that fight to be like a big get-together for the people who could fly out for the fight and whatnot. But the more that this shit is going on.
I know people think we enjoy being salty and shitting on fighters, but I really don't want to have this conversation because we were so much looking forward to that fight. It's just beyond frustrating.
Yeah. This is the fight that I want to see most with everything that took place this entire year. And people are saying that 2016 has been a good year, but this is the fight I want to see most.
We were promised this. They made a big thing in song and dance about it. So if he gets fucked over the colour of fucking towels in the bathroom or something, then
All right, let's.
You promised us. You promised.
I said only crazy blue.
All right, let me quickly have a break and just give the people in the chat a name check. We have Pinhead 360, Casual Fan, Shams 1000, Beast Mode, Chinaman, Mr. Dermo, Nunez 83, Nothing for Something, Kevlar, BRD Hate, Tony Yayo, Lucan, Tico, Nesmatic, PM Versus, and 13 guests. Let's talk about some news that developed while we were off for 2 weeks. Chino Maidana has officially retired, boys.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Cool story, bro.
Thank you for your work.
Thank you for that fight with Broner.
Yeah, his anti-Broner protest was spectacular.
Yeah, Black Lives Matter, Chino. Didn't you get the memo?
Nah, props to Maidana, man. He became a fat bastard, but
I really wish we could have seen him fight more. It sucks to see a guy with that's that good retire, but at the same time, he's living his life and he's happy, so that's good for him.
And he did deliver a lot of good fights for us, man. He served boxing very well, so
definitely.
Yeah, I mean,
he gave us that the Floyd versus Pacquiao fight that was supposed to happen.
Yeah,
he gave it to us.
And the Khan fight was excellent.
Yeah, he was as good a Floyd opponent as has been in Floyd's last 10, 15 fights, really.
Yeah, the only one who did better, arguably, was Castillo.
Yep.
Yeah,
Castillo did better because I thought he won that fight.
But props to Chino, man. Happy retirement.
Give us back our website.
You know he's gonna come back
when he's broke.
Yeah, well, he's gonna pull a Margarito.
Fight Canelo.
I could see that. A lot of these guys do end up coming back in a couple of years. So.
Hell yeah, they don't know how to manage their money, man.
True. But he seems to live like a quite simple life, so I hope he hasn't blown all the money away.
Yeah, he didn't seem like somebody that changed with all the cash that he got from Broner and Floyd and anything. So.
Yep. All right, let's move on. Lim, let's talk about wildcard. Let's talk about Pacquiao Vargas. Horrible fight.
I'm pumped. I'm pumped for that fight. What are you talking about? Vargas is a young, hungry lion. He's a young, hungry Mexican lion at that. He's made a name for himself at 147. He beat Saddam Ali. Someone which everyone was hyping most recently. They said Saddam Ali was going to be the next kingpin at 147. Look what Vargas did to him. He smashed on him. And look what Vargas did to Tim Bradley in that 12th round. He almost pulled the rules on and he almost annihilated him, like Nauta said. So I don't know what you guys are bullshitting on, man. Vargas, he has a chance to be the next Mexican star now that Canelo has been declining a bit. So this is just a one for the ages, in my opinion. And I think whoever wins this fight is going to become not just a pound for pound at the weight division, but pound for pound in boxing. This is a fantastic fight, action-packed. It's going to be a war, man. I can't wait.
It's his stepping stone to greatness.
Yeah, for Vargas. I mean, it's a stepping stone into greatness for Pacquiao, too. If Pacquiao beats Vargas, like, everyone's going to know that he is the greatest fighter of all time, but only if he beats him, which I really don't know, man. This is such a 50-50 fight that I can't really pick a winner at this time.
The fact that you mentioned earlier that HBO are favouring the Kovalev versus Ward fight and just not giving Pac the opportunity to fight on a pay-per-view now, it's weird. Like, have you guys read or heard it? What Arum is deciding to do? Is it going to be something like, an online pay-per-view, or will another channel pick it up?
I'm sure what he'll probably wind up doing is what happened with Kota Malinaji, where he'll just go through the cable providers themselves and then also make it available online on toprank.tv. So it'll be like one of those like associated or integrated sports pay-per-views or whatever the hell. If they'll even call it integrated sports. I'm sure some of you guys remember that. That they used to be the ones that used to bring a lot of the Latin Fury cards and Pinoy Pride and all that crap.
Hard work. I'm out.
My biggest issue is, Pacquiao retired. Then they start talking about, he might come back in November. Well, Crawford's the opponent you should be fighting. If you're not fighting Crawford, don't come back. This whole Vargas fight is complete bullshit. Boxing is becoming a bit of a joke. I know I speak to a lot.
What it really is the fact that Pacquiao has no title. He doesn't want to go down to 140 to fight Crawford for his, so he's gonna try and get Vargas's, and then make Crawford come up to meet him.
I don't understand that because
belts don't matter.
Yeah, exactly. The titles don't really mean anything anymore.
No, they absolutely do.
No, not in Pacquiao's position.
Yeah.
When you're one of three pay-per-view draws, belts don't matter.
It doesn't matter to him though that you don't think that they matter, because they do to him.
To Pacquiao.
Yeah.
I mean that's your opinion.
This fight wouldn't be happening if the belt didn't matter.
For me.
But how do you know that?
For me, beating Vargas and taking his 147 belt and then bringing Crawford up to 47 is more advantageous for Crawford. I think to fight Crawford at 40 is better because Crawford's still growing, man. He may struggle with the weight.
Yeah, but at the same time, Pacquiao hasn't made that weight in years too.
I think the reason why Pacquiao's fighting Vargas is just because he's easy pickings, and he's like one of 5 guys that Arum actually has a top rank that he can actually fight.
And he has a belt.
No, I don't think the belt has anything to do with it.
I do.
If he does, if it's true,
easier fighters than him.
That's just my opinion, Nota. But if that's one of the reasons and one of the main reasons why Manny's fighting Vargas, and he's a fucking moron. You have nothing to prove at this point. What, a belt's gonna somehow further your career, or it's gonna have any impact on what people think of you?
Yeah, because everybody wants to say that he's a fucking 40,000 time champion, and that just adds to it.
Huh. Yeah, well, this fight is fucking stupid. It is so pointless, and I know Manny has I think he had a $20 million guarantee for every single fight that he had prior. At least it was somewhere in that ballpark with Top Rank, and I'm guessing I would have to bet my life or my house that that's definitely not the case for this fight, because that fight is probably going to do like 200,000-300,000 pay-per-view buys, if that.
Yeah, that's going to do shit.
So, I know Aaron was really pissed that Pacquiao Bradley 3 only did the numbers that it did, and that it was a net loss for his company, so I can't imagine that they're going to be paying either fighter much money for this fight.
I agree, Lim. I agree. Anyone else, or should we move on?
Let's move on.
Okay, let's say get well soon to
Felix Verjadio.
I don't understand these guys, you know, professional sportsmen, and I know you can do whatever you want in your personal life, but motorcycling is so dangerous itself, you know. You can have car crashes, you can get knocked over, but like maybe wait until you're retired to start motorcycling. Now he's putting himself out until, I think they're talking about next year, and you know they were talking about a possible fight with Flanagan or something like that, and now we're going to just lose out because he decided to jump on a motorcycle.
That's what are we really losing out though? Because I mean, Verdejo doesn't deserve that fight any more than anybody else does.
I think he was just ducking Turbo Terry.
No, I agree with you, Naruto, but I think it'd still be a good scrap.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd rather, you know, I don't want, you know, I don't want to. Obviously, I don't want to see him get injured and fucking almost maimed, you know. But I would rather see other fighters get that shot. I'd rather see Marky Garcia fight, you know, Flanagan or fucking Juan Diaz even. Verdejo to me isn't even ready for that level. You know, as much as they've kind of soft balled with him all this entire time, you know. So.
Yeah, but staying on that weight division, I saw Dejan Zlatikanin put a tweet out saying he was going to fight Mikey Garcia, but Team Garcia responded saying they've not heard anything about it. So when Zlatikanin put that tweet out, though, I was quite. I
was pumped, man.
Yeah, same here, because I think that's a really good fight.
Can I just quickly go back to Verjadio? You know, you say you can do what you like in your personal life. He's a professional athlete. You can't do what you like. You got to be responsible. Professional footballers and other athletes aren't allowed to go skiing or riding fucking stupid bikes. He shouldn't have been on the thing, man.
No, I agree, and you
know, he shouldn't have been on it.
Locals mentioned the chat, you know, Paul Williams as an example, and yeah, that's the last thing.
Diego Corrales.
Yeah, you got like a promising career, and you don't want to jeopardize it just because you want to ride a motorcycle.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Yep. That's it.
Next piece of news: Povetkin clean. All you guys that called him out need to apologize to the Russian. I'll start with you, Leon.
That's not going to happen. I don't trust any of these fucking drugs.
They didn't even say that he was clean. All they basically said was that, like, oh, well, you know, we can't say that he's outright guilty. You know, bullshit. That he didn't take it. That he, you know, we can't tell whether he took it this year or he took it last year or whatever the hell. So he's gonna fight fucking Romain Stavern now.
They just
Spaghetti boy.
They just said he's a little bit guilty.
Exactly.
Oh, he's a little bit guilty, but
yeah.
Well, hey, now we get to see that. Now we get to see the matchup we always wanted, man. Him versus Spaghetti Boy.
Oh,
yeah. That's fantastic. Thank you, WBC.
But it's funny with WBC because, you know, Suleiman was making a statement after some of the poor decisions at the Olympics, saying, oh, you know, Aiba need to sort the house out and make some changes. And I was thinking, like, you're one to talk, man. Fucking WBC need to make some fucking changes.
Oh shit, I thought you were talking about Cam. I thought you were talking about Suleiman the Scholar this entire time. I was like, what? Good evening, guys.
Sort some things out and make some changes. The slap boxes.
Oh, okay. Oh, but you're talking about the WBC president. Okay, carry on.
Mauricio. Yeah, just saying it's a bit rich for him to kind of slag off other organizations.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, and especially because, I mean, at least with AIBA, it's one organization. You know, it's like, you know, Lim and Chemo and stuff always, are on the jock ride in UFC all the time, but like the UFC, AIBA is one organization. They control everything. Look, motherfucker, you're gonna fight this guy next. It's a tournament, With the WBC and all these other orgs, it's like they kind of get toyed around with by the promoters. Some of them are just like marionettes dancing on the strings of the promoters and the fighters and shit. It's like they don't even run their own organizations. They kind of get told what to do by and large.
Yep.
So they're not going to put Povetkin out to pasture because of the fact that the guy brings in huge amounts of money. So they're going to bend over and, allow Povetkin to go fight Stavern.
I actually think that's an okay fight. I picked Povetkin, but I think it's a decent scrap. And the same, maybe Povetkin might fight in the States for that. So we'll see.
Yeah, that wouldn't be terrible. It's not the worst thing in the world, especially because Wilder's injured right now, and his hand keeps fucking shattering. So I'm sure, we wouldn't have seen him anytime soon anyway. So.
Yep. You guys got anything you want to talk about?
What about Bellew's fight?
BJ Flores.
Fucking appalling.
Horrible.
You need to cut off the ring. How?
It's embarrassing, and everyone told me that he would take good fights, Bellew. He'd be a fighting champion. Bullshit.
Scissors.
No, but Leon, you allowed an easy defense for your first one.
Well, you're allowed to drag a man. He climbed 20 places in the rankings in 24 hours. It's just bullshit. He's paying their mates.
Yep. The thing is, it may have the whole, real life Rocky story, because look at the beef that's going on with David Haye. So I see it playing out that Bellew maybe kills Flores in the ring in the arms of, David Haye, and then David Haye has to fight Bellew and, avenge his fallen friend's death.
And then we get a long cinematic music video of David Haye training in the snow.
Yeah, Cam. I mean, for that fight to take into fruition, we do have to hope that something awful happens.
No, I was joking. I don't wish death upon anyone.
Let's hope that doesn't happen. Well, I mean, if it takes that to not hear BJ Flores do commentary, I might have to consider it. I might.
Oh man.
Oh shit.
I'm totally kidding, obviously. It's all right, BJ. Just get on a motorcycle. Have some fun, buddy. What, man? Motorcycling is a hobby. It's an American pastime. I don't know what you guys are.
Maybe as long as you're not on the same road as Keith Thurman,
Yeah. Right. Okay, but yeah. Anything else, Cam? Anything else noteworthy?
Well, it looks like Anthony Joshua versus Joseph Parker is going to be ordered on November 9th.
Cool, and I bet this is exactly what's gonna take place. They're gonna have that meeting. They're gonna have whatever kind of sit down that they have, and they're gonna come to the agreement that they'll both have 3 fights between whenever they do fight in 2018 or 2019, and they're both gonna have as many opportunities to duck each other for another year or 2.
Well, I mean, it's an IBF mandatory, so it'll probably actually happen. They at least make their guys fight.
Anything else, boys?
So they don't get sued.
No.
All right.
Well, Billy Joe Saunders called Fat Dan a paedophile. That was nice of him, wasn't it?
Oh, Local Mexican wants us to talk about Margarito beating the shit out of Canelo's brother.
No, we're good, bro.
I think I just summed it up.
Yeah,
Margarito beat the shit out of Canelo's brother.
Yep, good work, nailed it.
Yep. Good work, Local Mexican.
Oh yeah, shout out to Katsunari Takayama, 6-time world champ now.
6 times, damn.
Yeah, defeated Ricky Kano.
What kind of belts? What kind of belts are those, Naota?
All 4 of them. He's collected them all. He's got them all, man, like Pokemon.
Okay.
He beat Riku Kano, then he caught a fucking Jinx in the ring.
All right. Anything else, Cam?
No, I'm good. Anyone else? Or should we make moves I just want to say though, the next 2 weeks I was looking at the schedule is quite weak, so the coalition may go on another 2-week holiday. But if there's something,
we're on the Andre Ward schedule, Mikey Garcia.
Yeah, we're not PBC welterweights.
If there's something noteworthy, then yeah, we'll have a show if there's any fights that are getting announced. But the schedule is just pretty dire, you know. The new
Come on,
season,
bro. We gotta be like the boxing voice, man. We gotta have shows every day, man.
The boxing voice is too dedicated to this shit.
Bro, Gamboa's gonna fight Cotto, right?
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Why do they do this to us, Leon?
It's like they do.
Gamboa versus Cotto. Are they trolling us?
No, it's like they're torturing us like that guy in like Game of Thrones. They're just taking us apart piece by piece.
Yeah, they're Ramsaying us, right?
Oh, 100%.
I mean, when has Gamboa fought last?
I think he fought one fight after the
Crawford fight.
Yeah, he fought on an undercard, I think.
What weight was that at?
I think he fought the undercard of Molina versus Provodnikov.
At what, 130?
His last fight was at lightweight. It was at lightweight in December last year.
Oh, for fuck's sake. And what's he going to fight Cotto at? 154?
He said 150.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, Miguel Cotto. I know. I don't know how you defend him at this point.
No, but
you're a big Cotto fan, but
here's the thing, though. Like they were saying that it was just Gamboa talking shit. Like Cotto had nothing to do with it. But
maybe everything else that he's doing.
No, of course. But I'm also gonna say though too that that's just what they're saying is that Gamboa was the one that was talking shit. Who knows? Maybe Cotto made an offer to him, and Gamboa decided to run with it to the press. And Cotto was like, "Oh shit, I don't want people to actually know about this, and talk shit about me."
And we know Cotto was talking about other names, other glorious names like Brandon Rios and Ruzan Providenko. So, thank you, Miguel Cotto. Just retire, man. Fuck.
He's the A-side. He's the A-side, though, man.
Get the fuck out of here, dude. You're ruining your legacy.
Yeah, I have to agree, man. I'm a Cotto fan, but all my favorite boxers just become bitches, man.
Yeah, but not like Cotto. Cotto's the one who started all this bullshit, man. So fuck. I've never been a Cotto fan, but even this is getting ridiculous, man.
It's a car crash career, man. Now it's a car crash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I was gonna make another Puerto Rican Radagio joke, but let's move on. I don't want to get murdered by a Puerto Rican person.
A motorcycle crash.
Shit. Yeah. All right, Leon. Any final thoughts for us?
Nah, man.
Thank you, mate.
Dude, this might be one of the shortest shows in history, huh?
No, we done 1 hour 40. We done all right. Naoto, any final thoughts?
Well, we got my boy Angulo coming back this weekend, so I'm looking forward to that.
Who's the guy Guerrero's fighting? I never heard of him.
Freddie Hernandez.
No, the one that Guerrero's fighting.
Oh, Guerrero, the guy Guerrero's fighting. Oh yeah, he's some dude from Argentina, so that's never fought outside of Argentina, and he's not a puncher, so I don't think we're gonna get any kind of Maidana issue.
The ghost's back.
Yep. Yeah, man, Guerrero. Not a fan of Guerrero.
You're not a fan of CrossFit.
And Terrell Gachet, I guess, is I'm not sure what the hell they're doing with him, man. He's probably been one of the biggest underachievers from 2012 Olympics. A lot of people don't even realize that the dude was an Olympian.
I was looking back at the last 2 weeks on BoxRec today just to see if there was any fights announced that I missed because I was kind of just hooked up into the Olympics. And I saw that WBA of trying to organise Rashid Warren versus Jamie McDonald.
Oh, McDonald.
Yeah. I think.
Yeah, well, because they're unifying their super and regular and interim titles. So
yeah, I think that's an okay fight.
That's part of it.
I think McDonald beats him quite easily, but it's okay.
Yeah. No, that's it. I mean, I think it's a good fight. I think Warren will probably make it difficult early on, but I think McDonald eventually overwhelms him and possibly stops him.
Warren's just going to be shaking his head like, "No, you didn't hit me. Nope. No."
Yep.
Anything else, Naoto?
That's it.
All right, thank you. Daniel Lim. This is the thing, yeah? Any final thoughts?
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to my boy Abe. I know you met him too, Cam. I'm not going to talk about UFC, obviously, because I respect you guys too much, and Leon's going to fucking murder me and send me a million gifts telling me about how much of a terrible human being I am. But I just want to give a shout out to Abe, my boy.
You can talk about it.
Yeah, Abe's my guy. I love the dude. We spent a couple of days in Vegas, and we had a good-ass time. And that's why I'm so disappointed about this Kovalev-Ward situation, man, because that would have been a great opportunity for us to all come together again and just see each other. But, hopefully it does take place. But, yeah, other than that, I mean, I think it's pretty cool that even though there's nothing to talk about in the sport, we still have the opportunity to jump on the show and talk shit. So that's pretty much, why I do the podcast week after week, is just to talk to you guys and see how everything's going. But, regarding the sport itself, I mean, obviously I'm high on Errol. Hopefully he gets the opportunity to really show us how great he is. But yeah, other than that, it doesn't look too good. But hopefully things turn for the better in the next coming weeks.
Lim Chinaman in the chat is asking, when is the Mystic Men podcast coming back?
Whenever Chemo's bum ass comes back from Thailand. I know Chemo is vacationing in Thailand, and he's seen some of the lady boys out there, and I think he found his true calling. He wants to become a lady boy, but I don't know. Hopefully that does take place. I'm sorry, what did you say, Leon?
Was he out there smashing lady boys?
No, come on, man. He's out there with his girlfriend. I think her name is Sarah. So shout out to Sarah and Chemo. I think they're having a good time. But hopefully we'll do a Mystic Men sometime this week. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Lim. I want to thank all the guys on the show today, all the people in the chat, all the people that download the show week in, week out. Most probably back next week. My brother Scor-zay-zee just dropped a random track this week. It's called 64 Bars Out of Nowhere over a Slaughterhouse instrumental. I'm going to play it after the outro to the show. If you listen to the show on YouTube, you won't hear it because, as like I do with the intro, I don't play it for the YouTube content just because sometimes it gets caught for copyright and the whole track gets muted. And then I have to reload the show and it's a lot of messing about. So if you do want to hear it and you do listen to us on YouTube, I'll put the link, the SendSpace link in the description so you can just click it and download the song. Same for the people that listen to the pod. If you want to download the song, just click the SendSpace link in the predictions, and we'll be back next week. Peace.
You just listened to the Boxing Coalition.
Oh, dude, man, I love boxing. I fucking love boxing.
A big shout out to the Boxing Coalition.
You're a newbie.
No, I ain't new, man.
If my fucking next door neighbour became the number one flyweight in the world, you know what I'd do? I'd fucking walk past the cunt.
Derek, how you doing, bro?
I was physically burn you, blood.
I disagree.
First time I hear the show, man, it was fucking badass.
Vamos a Argentina, la concha de su madre.
I see the bomb in them.
I get home and she's like, what the fuck? Me and the kid are here. Why don't you get home and talk to us? I'm like, man, you guys don't know shit about boxing.
Kel, how does it feel to be the new IBF champion?
Feels great. Did we really dive into the black hole right off the jump?
I think he's hiding glass.
Just to play devil's advocate. You want one portion of crow or two portions of crow?
Give me 2 portions with a supersized fries and a large drink, please.
I can't stand him, what? I'm Scottish.
Cringe side?
But you won't brush Anthony fucking fat ass Joshua, would you?
He's not fat.
How about you tell us what you weigh for your final thoughts?
My weight?
Thank you for listening to the Boxing Coalition. We are live every Monday, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. UK time, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern.